for a robust and hardy garden, even in the toughest times. We also have starter varieties of the deluxe seed packages for fruit, salad, salsa, peppers, medical herbs, and more.
Go to the INFOWARS Seed Center at INFOWARSshop.com.
And remember, the revolution against tyranny is growing.
Poor ratings may sink Ronan Farrow's new Daily Show on MSNBC. Ronan's show drew an average of 312,000 viewers last week. Pretty dismal for someone pegged to be a major TV personality. Now, it may just be that Ronan's anchored to a sinking ship. MSNBC is tanking overall, losing nearly a quarter of its primetime audience in 2013. And following a similar loss in 2012, MSNBC has the smallest audience since 2007. Perhaps Ronan's show is tanking because he was given a primetime show without much training. Kind of like another actor with poor job performance and dismal approval ratings. After his candidacy was endorsed by the departing senator in 1996, uncontested and inexperienced Barack Obama rose quickly through the ranks of the Illinois State Senate. He was then strangely given the keynote address at the 2004 Democratic National Convention, seen by 9.1 million viewers, even though he didn't have any experience as a U.S. senator.
Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely.
4 years later, he was elected President of the United States of America. And then 9 months after the election, Obama was given the Nobel Peace Prize. But back to Ronan Farrow's manufactured celebrity. The theory was that Farrow would bring his 245,000 Twitter followers with him to television, but that hasn't happened. Perhaps it's because his Twitter followers are mostly fake spam bots. A quick check from Twitter audit shows that less than half of Ronan's followers are real. Maybe that's why they're not watching. 26-year-old Ronan Farrow, who, without ever hardly even having a paying job, was given his own primetime television show practically overnight. He graduated school at 15, he went to Yale Law School at 16, and then he became a Rhodes Scholar. Special Representative to Afghanistan and Pakistan Richard Holbrooke appointed a then 21-year-old Farrow as NGO liaison working in Pakistan. Humanitarian officials, taken aback by the appointment at the time, said, "You have seasoned, experienced NGO officials dealing with some very sensitive foreign policy and humanitarian aid issues whose main contact in Holbrooke's office is a 21-year-old whose experience has been traveling to southern Sudan with his mom." Ronan was also appointed Hillary Clinton's special advisor for global youth issues. Farrow's appointment and the creation of the office were announced by Clinton as part of a refocusing on youth following the Arab Spring revolutions. And with that, Obama administration insider Ronan Farrow's orchestrated rollout commenced. He became the youngest host on MSNBC with his own daytime show. And much like Obama's puzzling Peace Prize, Farrow was awarded an Excellence in Journalism Award a mere 48 hours after he became a journalist. So is Ronan Farrow just an overachieving boy genius or a well-positioned puppet? As The Guardian points out, the discussion of Ronan Farrow as future presidential material, a prominent theme in the New York Times profile of the star, makes him seem like a new sort of Manchurian candidate, which is interesting since the star of that movie, Frank Sinatra, is rumored to be Farrow's father.
Rallying a nation of television viewers into hysteria to sweep us up into the White House with powers that will make martial law seem like anarchy.
And you thought he was just Rosemary's Baby. As predicted in Obama Deception in 2009, these Manchurian candidates' sole responsibility is to sell the public on the globalist agenda.
They're called Generation O, and they were the key to Barack Obama's White House win.
During the campaign, Barack Obama used the internet like no other candidate before him, harnessing the energy of millions of his supporters. But the question now is, what to do with this young, eager, energetic army?
It was the scope of Obama's victory that was most impressive. In summation, Barack Obama is a Madison Avenue created fad. All of the crazed Obama worship, being pushed by the corporate media, is scientifically designed to capture the public in a net of peer pressure mass euphoria. If the New World Order can just distract the public for a few more years, the elite can finish constructing their police state control grid.
And now the globalist left is laying the foundation for yet another manufactured Madison Avenue creation. He's primed for political office. He can read from a teleprompter, and he is ready to take the globalist agenda to the next signpost whenever he's called into the political spotlight.
Celebrate the spirit of freedom and liberty upon which our nation was founded at INFOWARSShop.com. Molon Lave is ancient Greek for come and take it. This popular design combines both classic Greek Spartan imagery with modern M16 assault rifles. Now available in women's tees and proudly made in the USA. And now you can protect yourself from corrupt cops with the INFOWARS dash cam. It's your car's black box that records all that the driver sees and hears. And introducing the Block It Pocket. It renders your phone undetectable while protecting your private data and your health. Or take back your privacy and protect your personal information by getting your very own Detractor cell phone pouch. So get incredibly high-quality, freedom-based products and help fund the revolution at INFOWARSShop.com.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by INFOWARS Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit INFOWARSLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from INFOWARS Life.
X-Men: Days of Future Past is set to hit theaters soon. The interesting thing about this story is that it was written back in the 1980s and set in 2013. Now in 2014, we see that many of the police state measures, which were fictional at the time of the writing, are pretty relevant now. Let's start with a look at the film's teaser trailer.
What have you been doing for the past 50 years? Do you feel safer? More secure? Nothing worth fighting for more than your future. At Trask Industries, we're solving tomorrow's problems today.
Did you catch the camera in the boy's room? Back in 2009, it was reported that the UK was prepared to spend $700 million outfitting the inside of homes with security cameras for the children, of course. Also in the clip, the Sentinel, the robotic policeman of the future made by Trask Industries. The real-life counterpart to Trask would be DARPA. DARPA, which has many advanced technology projects, also makes humanoid walking robots just like the Sentinels, not to mention police departments deploying their own weaponized drones.
Deputies can fly this 50-pound Shadowhawk unmanned helicopter. A powerful camera on the front is controlled with this game-like console, and the manufacturer says this one's even designed to carry weapons.
You'd have a stun baton where you can actually engage somebody at altitude with the aircraft, and a stun baton would essentially disable a suspect.
And as we move into spoiler territory, what's the reason for the sci-fi police state in the first place?
She's one of them, Martha. She needs help. But how could you register her with that mutant control agency as if she were some sort of criminal?
The agency isn't a prison, Martha. It's an outreach program to help these unfortunate people.
And if you don't voluntarily give up your children, there's always somebody willing to come and take them from you.
Godboldo's ordeal began last Thursday at her home here on Blaine when Child Protective Services came to take custody of her 13-year-old daughter, accusing Godboldo of not giving her medication for a mental condition. Godboldo would not give up the child. Police were called, broke down her door, and that's when officers say Godboldo shot at them. A standoff ensued.
She didn't open fire.
They're supposed to register their mutant powers because of a mutant-related incident, where some try to use their powers to kill a U.S. senator. So because some use their powers for bad, now all mutants are collectively guilty until proven innocent. Does that remind you of the gun laws in this country? And that's to say nothing of the people who make the legislation, the people who say that you need to be disarmed, the people who say that you need to be registered, are steadily beefing up their own personal arsenals.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals. I have two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. That we're all parents, that they're all our children. This is our first task: caring for our children. It's our first job. If we don't get that right, we don't get anything right. That's how, as a society, we will be judged. And by that measure, can we truly say, as a nation, that we're meeting our obligations? Can we honestly say that we're doing enough to keep our children, all of them, safe from harm?
Not only do they want to jail mutants because of their abilities, but also because the powers that be want to cleanse the gene pool, much like the real-life eugenics movement.
Why do you hate us? What did we ever do to you?
You were born.
We are paying for and even submitting to the dictates of an ever-increasing, unceasingly spawning class of human beings who never should have been born at all. Margaret Sanger, 1922.
And for those who say that it can't happen here, that they would never forcefully take somebody out of their communities, how soon you forget the Japanese internment camps, how soon you forget the Native American Trail of Tears. They have gone door to door taking people away from their families. They have gone door to door confiscating weapons, i.e. mutant powers.
Police department! The police and National Guard going street by street, house to house.
We need to make sure, too, that whenever we knock on doors, people refuse to leave. We need to make note, call it in.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
While we live in a world free of mutants, we do not live in a world free of the police state trappings of a comic book from the 1980s. That should tell you something about our society. And for those of you searching for a true spoiler, I'm pretty sure Storm dies in this movie because in the comic book she dies by being stabbed by a sentinel, and if the trailer is any indication, the same thing's going to happen in the film. Keep watching InfoWars for the crew review of Captain America: Winter Soldier, and as always, you can find more reports on InfoWars.com. Well, that's it for this edition of the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.